Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be doing our weekly market analysis. And if you saw the thumbnail, of course, because you clicked, the title, the topic for today is confidence. Of course, this has been a big week for Pokemon, well, specific products with buyouts. And what buyouts tell us is that there's a lot of confidence in the market. It's the only reason why people, investors, would be willing to dump that much money into the market. It's only because they're confident in it. Whether people are upset about it or not, you roll with the punches. You just deal with the market the way it comes. And also, we're going to be seeing how some of these prices between different products don't always correlate with eBay, and maybe you would prefer to buy there. Uh, but yeah, before we get started, like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps. I'm very grateful for you guys. We're on the road to 1,000. I can't wait. I'm so excited. My hard work is finally paying off. But yeah, guys, let's get to it. All right, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is Phantasmal Flames. And the reason why is because I wanted to talk about the prices that are on here on TCG Player. Right, when I made a video the other day, when they released the cards, the illustrations for Phantasmal Flames with the Japanese Inferno X, my thumbnail said question mark or $350 question mark at release. I think it's possible. We're looking at prices at $334 on TCG Player. Of course, it's only been a few days since, or a week, where pre-orders have been around, and they're selling. They might not be selling in absurd amounts, but they're selling 50, 42, 77 at a time, like per day, and they're selling at $335 all the way through. And so when we look at that, and we look at, for example, Mega Evolutions, right? Mega Evolutions is sitting at $300, but when they were getting pre-ordered, the box dropped all the way down to $232 within the first week. But once they announced that they were going to be getting released in waves, of course, it started jumping in price, but it still didn't reach the $334 mark that we see here on Phantasmal Flames. So I just wanted to point that out. It is a little crazy for a box to be this expensive at release, but with the hype that Charizard has behind it, of course, it's probably, if not, got to be one of the top three most favorite Pokemon or favorite Pokemon of all time, right? Between uh, Charizard, Pikachu, and Gengar, I guess the battle would be between those three. I would think at least, but this set is so hyped up. It already seems like there isn't going to be that much product out there, right? I think they also announced that these would be in waves. I think they did. Um, and so $335 pre-orders right now. We don't know what's going to happen when it does release, but as we saw with Mega Evolution, it actually climbed back up by the time it did release. We'll have to see what happens. $334 is pretty crazy on release. We look at the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box on TCG Player for Phantasmal Flames. Looks kind of absurd, I would say. You see most recent sale at 583. Why anybody would pay $583 for this ETB, even though it's really cool and you want it? $600 across the board down here. It doesn't make sense to me, especially because when we look onto eBay, right, and as always, we always try to cross-reference. We look at the price difference here, right? So here, this actually correlates with what we're seeing on TCG Player when it comes to that 335 mark being shipped from the UK. So it clearly, with that shipping, reaches that price. But if we look at the PC ETB, it's $350 in comparison to the $600 that we're seeing on TCG Player, which is why I point out that it doesn't make any sense, and it's why uh, you should be a little more strategic or a little more patient when it comes to what you buy and where you buy. 320 right here for what is this? This is not even the Pokemon Center. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand what people are doing sometimes. But once again, this price does not correlate with what we see on TCG Player. I think, yeah, the booster box though it is selling. This is of course just a change in currency because it's probably in euros. I think I saw 300 for here with shipping just below market. It's still a 300 and something dollar box, way before pre-orders. So one thing that I just wanted to point out so we could keep in mind as we move closer and closer to that release date, even though of course they just started pre-ordering it, but I do want to keep my eye on it. I like seeing, I'm going to be aware of all the trends, and of course I'm going to be discussing it with you guys. Next, of course, I had Mega Evolutions here. Mega Evolutions pre-release was well below $300 at down to 230s, and once they announced waves, it just started climbing, and now it has somewhat plateaued in the last week, at least since the release. It's been sitting at about $300, maybe a slightly above, but it's been going up and down between the two. The non-enhanced is actually still right there at $300 as well. They're both sitting right there together. It's so funny because Journey Together had the enhanced and the non-enhanced, and they had a huge difference in price uh, at the start because people assumed one box was more rare than the other, or more valuable, or more scarce than the other. Whatever it may be, it had a nice difference in price because of that. But now we're seeing that these two prices are exactly the same. Uh, so that's pretty interesting to me because just like Journey Together, no one ever knew which one was going to be more scarce than the other, and it was all speculation or assumptions. And look where we're at now. Now, if we look on eBay, prices are correlating with what we're seeing on TCGPlayer. You're basically going to see $300 across the board. You're not really going to find any deals. What you will find, though, is deals on the PC ETBs, which I just want to show you before we keep scrolling because they're going to come up. $232 is where they dropped to because they were at $400 before on TCGPlayer, and now they're at $220 just about. And the same goes for the Gardevoir one as well. They both dropped heavily because they were at almost $400, like I said before, and they're really at like $220 for the most part. Really, really the same, really between the two of them. Even though, of course, the IRs, I mean, at least the promos for each one are pretty nice. But $300 is really what you're going to see. 287 here, but with shipping over $300. The PC ETBs, like I pointed out before, one at 245 on bids. There was one at 215 right there at market. Yeah, this Mega Evolutions really is correlating with what we're seeing on TCGPlayer, which is at least nice to see. You're seeing that it's not going crazy. At least there's some kind of stabilization between the two websites. Of course, you would like to find a more affordable price point to going on these boxes, but we'll have to see what time does. Right, it's only been a few days since the official release, so we'll have to see how that moves forward. But the set looks amazing. Demand is really high for this set. It doesn't even look like a base booster box, to be honest. It doesn't look like a base set. I mean, we're calling it a base set because it's the first one from the era, but it doesn't look like one. It's so good. It looks like just a good set. It just looks like a random set within an era, and it looks really good. Um, so moving on. Sorry, not that. Moving on to Black Bolt and White Flare, as always. Just checking on to see what the market is doing with this. It's still sitting at just about $85. Um, Eventually, I think Black Bolt and White Flare will have its day. Both of them will do decently well in the long term. I don't think they're going to be the greatest sets, but they're going to do something. They're not going to stick around at $86. I mean, if we think about Shrouded Fable, how is it possible that people are buying Shrouded Fable? You know, and you would think about the worst set in the Scarlet and Violet era actually profiting in some way. There's no way that this box is going to stay where it's at. That's just my thought process with it. Same thing for White Flare at $81 at the moment. I think years from now, there will be a younger crowd that will be clearly older and they will feel nostalgic with these sets. And of course, there's a lot of illustrations. There are a lot of really nice illustrations in there. And the really cool white white Reshiram and black Zekrom cards that are in there are really cool. So on top of SIRs being in there, it's not just those cards. I think it's a pretty good set. Just nostalgia doesn't hit at the moment. Now, Destined Rivals, one of the sets that got bought out this past week. Or at least within the last week, because it happened on the day that I did my last weekly analysis. We're now seeing a correction. It's heading downward. It's trending down. It's at $422 market at the moment. We do see here that at some point, someone was trying to keep that price up, and they did make a buy at $700. I saw somewhere, here it is. On the 26th, there was a $700 buy when there was clearly 400 and something dollar listings available. They were trying to keep the price up, but at the moment, the market is not accepting that price that it jumped up to at first, so it's coming right back down, heading towards $400. But either way, like I said before, these buyouts only show us confidence. This is how confident people are. Like, people are so confident they're willing to dump $10,000 on Destined Rivals. And I'm pretty sure they didn't bat an eye. If they're willing to do that, they didn't bat an eye. And it's fine. You know, like I said before, we roll with the punches. The market's going to do what it's going to do. There's no control anyone has over it. So please don't be one of those guys that gets upset over it. Just deal with it. have some kind of a strategy on how you want to go in on Destined Rivals. If you do, make some kind of plays. Maybe you can sell a product that you spent $60 on. Maybe it's a PC ETB of some kind, and you make a play where you can trade it for 2 of these, and now you have 2 Destined Rivals booster boxes that you essentially paid $60 for. So just try to do what you can to just enjoy yourself in the hobby and just be where you want to be at. And now, so if we cross-reference with eBay, you'll see that they are somewhat at the prices that the TCGPlayer market is heading towards. This is 415 right here. This was just as of today. So the market is really telling us what it wants. People are really showing, this looks the same as that other box, little sketchy. 435 on bids, right around where market is. It's nothing crazy. There was a $500 buy here with the acrylic case, but as always, I'll point out the acrylic case is $30 in itself, so it's still below that $500 mark that I had a week ago. But still, a lot of confidence in the market. $400 here. Bids 591 from Italy. That's insane. That's 630 something dollars. That's crazy. I don't understand. The box just, it doesn't even look like a minty box. Like, look at this crease right here. I don't even know. I don't know if that's a plastic. It looks like it's a cardboard though. This box looks better, and they bought it for $400. I mean, that's seems like a bit of an immature buy, to be honest. That's pretty crazy. $353 with 67 shipping. Still right at market right now. Basically $420 or $430. Right there at market where we're at right now currently. But we see that that price we had there last week with the buyout, it doesn't correlate with what we have on eBay. And like I said, the market's going to do whatever it's going to do, whether it's a buyout or not. Especially with a new set, the market is going to actually tell you whether it's going to hold at that price or it's not. Market always has to accept those high prices. I did want to point out the PC ETB when it comes to Destined Rivals, because I thought it was done climbing. I thought when it hit like 330 it was going to stop, and so I kind of ignored it a little bit. But look at it now. It's $357 market, and we have sales at $400, guys. This thing has not stopped climbing. 409, 396, 399, 388 here, 390, 400 basically right there. Yeah, like I said, confidence, guys. That's why it's going to be on the thumbnail. Confidence across the board for Pokemon, and I'm not surprised. You know, I'm not surprised. Pokemon is just doing so well right now. I mean, just the products they release, nostalgia's hitting everywhere. They're doing a great job, right? Journey Together. Journey Together is a box that people weren't really buying into because of hype, right? They listened to everyone's opinions, whether it was a creator or just random people in the comments calling the box mid or a low tier box. And they kind of did to this box what people did to Paradox Rift, Obsidian Flames, and everything else around this time last year. And those boxes were available for $90, and they didn't buy them, and they could have taken advantage of opportunities, and now they're each 250, or Obsidian Flames, for example, is $322 or 330, whatever it is. And this box is on its way to doing the same exact thing. It has not stopped organically climbing. As for the last week, it has taken a really nice step up, but it's been organic growth throughout the whole time, even with people talking the box down. So this just goes to show it's not about hype, guys. It's not just about people talking the box up. You have to look where people aren't buying. And this box is a prime example. You're seeing it right before your eyes right now. You're going to see it every single day. It hasn't stopped climbing. So we'll have to see. It's at $251. I like the set. I truly believe that this set is going to do much better, especially in the long term. But this set's only been out a few months longer than Destined Rivals, and look at what it's doing already. I would say it's doing pretty well in comparison to other sets that have been around for a few years already, or a year. We haven't even seen a reprint for it yet. We don't know what's going to happen, right? So, and now the non-enhanced, once again, before there was somewhat of a price discrepancy between the two. This one was always like $20 more expensive than the enhanced booster box, because people assumed that the non-enhanced would be much more scarce or rare. And as of right now, the market has changed its mind. They're both at 250. It was at 260 It corrected, came down to 250, and it's actually heading back upward now, right with the enhanced booster box. So we'll have to see what happens, man. I cannot wait. I mention this all the time. I cannot wait till a reprint hits. I want to know what box comes out, and then I want to see what happens after. I'm okay with whatever happens with depending on whatever box comes out. If it's the enhanced or the non-enhanced, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with whatever gets printed. But I do want to see what happens. I'm gonna find it really interesting. I just want to know. I love seeing the market move. Every week is like an exciting thing happening, and I love it. Now we're looking at eBay. Let's cross-reference through eBay and see if the sentiment is the same. We have the booster box right here. That's actually, it's holding like a sealed premium of like 20 something dollars per box. So that's that right there. I already did the math on that one. $321, well above market price. And it actually has like a dent right here. I don't know what that is. You can see that leaning downward right there. 321 plus $33 for shipping. That's a $350 box. That's $100 over market. That's something you should not be buying. Once again, $16.50 with the sealed premium. And so yeah, Journey Together is starting to move. Whether it's on TCGPlayer or eBay. A few weeks ago, I was showing the boxes, and we saw boxes on TCGPlayer for the enhanced at $230, and you would actually see it on eBay for like $205 or sometimes even $200. Now it seems like this week that is not the case. Journey Together is making moves on both platforms. So last place I would look, at least before buying anywhere, is probably Facebook. You might find some plays on Facebook, but yeah, this is the further we go back, 230, 300. I mean, 230 is the lowest I've seen here. And so, yeah, the box is moving. Once again, just straight up confidence in the hobby. Prismatic. I love Prismatic, honestly. I haven't pulled an SIR, even though I've ripped 150 packs with my fiance, but it is what it is. I do love the SIRs in the set. They're beautiful, honestly. The opportunity you have to have a 4,000 plus dollar God pack is insane. This ETB has non-stop climbing after those reprints came out on the ETBs. Look at them now. Everyone who said that they were going to crash at MSRP is kind of biting their tongue. They're not even talking about it anymore for the most part. People are not really talking about Prismatic anymore, at least not in a bad way, right? I said it before, if they do not keep printing the ETB, it's going to be somewhat comparable to holding a balloon underwater. Eventually, it's going to come up. You can try to hold it up as much as you can, but once you take the weight off of there, it's going to shoot right up. And this is exactly what it did. And I don't think it was something that I wasn't. It's not like I made some great, amazing call. It's just a great set. It's obvious. It's a great set that if you don't keep printing it, you know it's going to just shoot upward. eBay, right? Cross-referencing again on eBay, trying to find plays, trying to find some deals maybe. Pokemon Center ETB is at $400. It's been there for a while now. 120 for the regular ETB. I had a live yesterday. Somebody was asking me about buying Prismatic. I directed them, of course, to eBay because you found sales like these, 120, which is under market, comparable to TCGPlayer at least, because at some point they will stop printing that ETB. They're not gonna keep printing it. Eventually, it should follow suit with what they did with 151, right? They're gonna stop printing the ETBs. They'll continue printing out the poster collections. They'll continue on with booster bundles, but they won't continue on with this ETB forever. It just won't happen. So 120 for the most part is what I saw. I saw a few $110 sales yesterday, but as of today, you can see a lot of 120, 125. There's 130. Yeah, it's really what's happening across the board. That it's just confidence everywhere, man. Confidence across the board with the Pokemon market. But of course, you find better deals in other places like on eBay right now for the ETB. Next, we're looking at the Super Premium Collection, and of course, I keep talking about products like these. These products are amazing, right? These are like the top tier. Aside from something that's just exclusive when it comes to a Pokemon Center stamped ETB, we're talking about just a product, what it has inside. These are the top tier products. When it comes to like a 151 UPC or the Prismatic Evolutions SPC, amazing product right here. The promo, the 15 packs, the beautiful playmat. I mean, you can't beat it. This is the top tier product for Prismatic, and it's now at $314. It has not stopped climbing since its inception. Originally, when it was pre-ordering, people were paying crazy, but once it released, it of course leveled out, and now it's just been on the rise nonstop. And it's just going to keep doing that for a while unless they print some. I don't know. Nobody has any information on what gets printed. People can speculate as much as they want. No one has any information on how many of these are getting printed. Of course, people were saying they were going to print these to the ground. They were showing pictures of pallets at one point in the factory. And, you know, in reality, it's like, where are they now? They're gone. They're not even available unless you're paying market. Now, looking on eBay, just like once again, trying to find deals, cross-referencing, same as market, if not more. You know, that you see this one here though at $215. I don't know why this person would list that. This is September 12th. Still really, really inexpensive for this box. But I think September 12th, around that time, it was much more affordable right here, 252. So that person at the time saved about $30, but compared to what he's saving right now, that's $100 difference from what market is right now. It's insane. 320 today. See what that is. 335 plus $44 shipping. Well over market. That was done today as well from the UK. 350 here with the $15.40 shipping. Yeah, a case right here at $1,275 for the case of 4. Wow, I didn't even consider a case. As expensive as this is, I was not even considering what a case would be worth at the moment, which is pretty crazy. There is obviously a $75 premium. Not really, because it was $315. That's only a $15 difference. That's pretty crazy. What is it, a $15 premium? You might as well just consider that shipping. That's not even a premium. That's an amazing buy. Wow, that's a pretty nice buy with the current market, of course. You know, anyone would like one of these boxes at MSRP, right? We're not talking about MSRP at the moment. We don't know when it'll be MSRP again. We don't know when they're going to print them again. So I'm not going to discuss MSRP prices till we have them again, right? So $300, $287 plus a $30 shipping. And like I said, amazing box, right? People are going to keep buying. It's selling. That was all. Everything we just saw was all of today and yesterday, and we're not even over with today, clearly. So boxes are still selling. Surging Sparks booster box. Once again, as always, the second best main set in the Scarlet and Violet era, and it's $300. Of course, we saw that. You could kind of foresee that. Market was saying $250, but every listing was at $300. So it's up there now. It's at $300. There are 1,076 boxes listed, and it's $300. So yeah, it's a price point where market is going to have to accept at some point. But you see that the buys are slowing down, but at some point people are going to buy it. It's a second best main set in the Scarlet and Violet era. I think people might be sitting back waiting for reprints, but I think that may be a mistake. If this box does keep rising, if the market finally does accept the market price, it will start climbing again. It will start climbing. It's just such a great box. It's a great set. You know, it's just like you think about Sword and Shield, right? Everybody wants Evolving Skies, right? But aside from Evolving Skies, of course, we have Fusion, we have Lost Origin, we have Brilliant Stars, we have Chilling Reign. You know, you could still do well with the secondary or third place set, whatever you want to call them. All those other sets that are following Evolving Skies are still doing really well. And these sets are the same when it comes to that regard, when it comes to sets that are following Destined Rivals. Surging Sparks, amazing set, will do well. Twilight Masquerade will do well. Journey Together, Temporal Forces, they will do well. It's going to do the same thing as what we're seeing with the Sword and Shield era. Great boxes, great sets. So we'll see what happens long term. I mean, there's 1,000 boxes listed for Surging Sparks, and I don't think that it's going to stay at $300 long. I thought I had this thing selected on sold items, but it's okay. We'll go there now. Looking at what people are buying, and I always have to scroll a large amount because ETBs are still selling, which they're still selling for $100 to $105, which is pretty nice when it comes to those. A case for $1,900 on auctions. That's not bad. Really isn't bad. That's $1,800 with market value, just $100 sealed premium. That's not bad, but you know, it's not a bad buy right there. What else are we looking at? 233. That's a great buy right there. 300 right here with $12 shipping. Yeah, if you can find some deals, $280 below market, this is what you want. If you can find that on eBay, they're more affordable, then go to eBay. Do not buy on TCGPlayer. There's no sense in that. Be strategic. Be smart with your money. We all work hard for our money. This is not something that we just want to throw away, right? And we also want the best entry points. So clearly something that we should be looking into when it comes to maybe cross-referencing with eBay and see if you can't find any better deals on there, whether it be listings or auctions. $280 right here with $6 delivery. This box looks like it was used as a soccer ball though. So okay, I would have never bought that box. What's going on? I don't know what's going on right there. $290 right here. But yeah, guys, once again, always like cross-reference, do your homework. You can find some deals, even if it's $20 cheaper than when you can find the TCG player. I think you can do something to help your pockets. Next, Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown still on the rise. Of course, it's just I don't know. It's definitely proving me wrong. Not essentially proving me wrong. I don't think that it's going to do amazing long term. It's one of the lower mid tier sets. So I don't think it's going to do insanely well. When people look into boxes and they look at what's inside the set, I don't think they're going to be that impressed. It's very possible that the sentiment towards Tarapago changes long term because Tarapagos is in the anime right now. People may feel nostalgic towards Tarapagos long term. Squirtle's doing really well. The Bulbasaur is following in that trend. It's just not doing as well as Squirtle, but it's following. So we'll have to see what this box keeps doing. I don't think that it's going to do that well long term. But once again, there's confidence here, right? People are buying, even if it's slowing down a bit because it's getting more expensive, but they're buying. So Stellar Crown, that's where we're at with that. We're not going to cross-reference Stellar Crown because I don't believe in it too much, and I don't see people making the most insane buys with Stellar Crown. Twilight Masquerade, though, I always say it's always top 3 or top 4 in competition with Paldea Evolved. Twilight Masquerade, I would assume there's going to be a lot of confidence moving forward with this box if we don't see more reprints come. We're at 369 listed at the moment. I want to know where we're going to be when this box hits 300 listed or anything lower than that because it's one of the top 3, top 4 sets. So I don't think it's going to be a very affordable set when we get to that point. Just getting to 300. I always talk about that 100 mark when it comes to listings. But we're already at 300 and we have 385 listed. Sorry, 369 listed. And the listed median, which is listed average, is 385. But as we move forward, as market price climbs, these listings will change. They'll update their prices. They'll list them at higher values, and that will change. So Twilight Masquerade, an amazing set. That Greninja is top tier, and there's going to be a lot of confidence moving forward with that set as well. Once again, cross-referencing with eBay, of course, with one of the top sets in the era. Of course, that's from Pakistan, $250. I wonder how legit these are. If you are someone who buys these boxes from Pakistan, please let me know in the comments. I don't know if there's anybody in my comment section or that watches my videos that buys from Pakistan, but if you do, please let me know what your experience is like. $330 here, right here from the US, and that's, of course, above market. $340 here, once again from the US. What is this? A sealed case at $2,500. That is, whoa. 6 boxes is worth $1,800. Is that a $700 premium? That is insane. That's insane. Double boxed. Did that help us sell it for $700 more? Oh my gosh. That's insane. $2,500 again. Is that just the value for, oh my gosh. Is that what a sealed case is just going for? Is that what's on market for a TCG player? I didn't even see that. Oh my goodness. No, I can't let that go. I can't let that go. We have to check it out live. I always have the links open, but we're going to check it out live right now. Is that what Twilight Masquerade cases are selling for? No way. I got to see this live right now. No, the case is selling for $2,000. Lowest listed is $2,000. Why are they buying them for $2,500? That's crazy. All right, guys. Chat, we're cooked. We are cooked. I don't know what 2,500. I don't know what's going on here. We're going to move on, and don't let that brain cancer get to you right there. Don't buy that case for 2,500 when they got it on TCGPlayer for 2,000. That's crazy. All right, Temporal Forces. You know, Temporal Forces is one of those boxes I talk about a lot because I believe it's a little underrated in comparison to other boxes. It gets compared to Paradox Rift often, right? But I spoke about this yesterday on my live stream. The Gouging Fire made its appearance, its first official appearance on the Pokemon anime. And if you guys don't think that somebody's going to feel nostalgic towards that Pokemon later on, or any of these, whether it's the Walking Wake or the Raging Bolt, you're wrong. You're really wrong. People will feel nostalgic towards new Pokemon, towards different variants, or future Pokemon, or a Paradox Pokemon. Eventually, especially once it comes up on the anime or in games, they're going to feel nostalgic towards the set. So this box also, once again, a box that doesn't get talked up much, has had some decent, like, organic growth throughout this whole time. We're at $255 right now. This box at some point will start climbing. And you see it on the first page here. It's already going to 260 and 270, 275. This box will start climbing. I will advise you guys to buy on eBay if you are going to buy the boxes so that you don't affect market price, right? There's no reason why, if you wanted to buy a few more boxes, if you wanted to buy 2 boxes, 3 boxes, you don't want to make your entry point any higher. Go on eBay, find some deals at market if you can, or below market. If you can't find it better than this, if this is the best price right here, then of course buy here. But if you don't have to affect the market to make your entry point better, then that's where I would go. Paldean Fates ETB. The regular ETB finally started to relax in the last week. It finally started to plateau within the last week. We're sitting just under $300, and I guess market is taking a step back with this box right now at the moment, but it has reached $300 for the regular ETB. The Pokemon Center ETB is sitting at $500. That has had a few weeks now where it's stagnated at 500. Like I said before, just now, this box is now sitting just under $300. We have some sales right under 300, 290, 295, 295, 292, a few at 296. Yeah, it's right there under $300 for the time being. It looks like this is where it's going to settle at. We'll have to see where we're at next week once again. It is a great set, but at some point, market is going to take a step back when they feel like it's a little too expensive. Looking on eBay once again, $400 for the PC ETB when TCGPlayer has for $500. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you need to do. You see that price on TCGPlayer, you come over to eBay and maybe you find yourself a steal if you're lucky for $100 less than what's on TCGPlayer. That's insane. And it looks really nice though. It looks like really crispy. It has that little protector over it. That's nice. $295 for the regular ETB plus shipping, making it a $350 regular ETB, $50 over market. But once again, right here, right at market with the shipping delivery right here, $300. Not bad for Paldean Fates, sitting at $300. I don't think it has to rise any higher for it to solidify itself. We're still pretty early. We're still looking at long-term, 3 to 5 years. And we'll have to see what this box does. Is it going to stagnate again for the next week? Is it going to do that for the next 2 weeks? We'll have to see what happens. Paldean Fates being one of the better sets in Scarlet and Violet with the Bubble Mew inside, with the Charizard, the Gardevoir. Really nice cards carrying the set. Paradox Rift, the other box in Scarlet and Violet that got bought out last week. And as we can see, after it got bought out, even though it did shoot up that market price, sales have diminished tremendously. I mean, we have like 3 days here without any sales. We have 1 day with 4 and one other day with 3. So in a week, there has only been 3 boxes bought. And of course, people don't feel that this box is worth $300 at the moment. I don't know how long it's going to take for a market to accept that price of $300. Market says $325, but the lowest listed is $300. We'll have to see with this box what happens. This box is not one that people absolutely love. Once again, it gets compared to Temporal Forces, but it's, in my opinion, it lacks a little more. It's got the Groudon in there. It's nice. I do love the Altaria. I love the Roaring Moon in there. But outside of that, I think the box needs more to carry the set. I think it's really lacking after those 3. But who knows? Once again, you might find long-term sentiment changes, and we have a different age group come up, and they're nostalgic to some of these Pokemon. So we'll have to see. But that's where Paradox Rift is at right now, $300. Lowest listed. If we look on eBay, we will find that these prices do not correlate. $252 here at this buy. I mean, of course, you're going to see some sales at $300. Look, there's one right here, but you will see some below because it just doesn't seem like even people that are listing believe that it's worth $300. You have one at $250 here with $12 shipping, $265 right here. That looks so mangled. Wow. But yeah, you'll see prices below that $300 mark, and you'll see also some at $320. Some people, maybe they FOMO and they buy. They think the box is going to run away, even after the buyout. $330 here, but then you see $275. Yeah, most of the boxes are sitting right around that buyout mark. Some of them, not most. Well, like it kind of seems like it's half and half from what I've seen. You're somewhere sitting at 300 or 320, and then you find a bunch that are at $350, $360. Like, look, this was $270, and there was a best accepted offer. So that's where we're at with Paradox Rift. It's really back and forth with these sellers, but it's also the buyers. The buyers, it's like the market doesn't know what it wants at the moment. It's somewhat split in half. They're going back with their price memory of 250, and some are just accepting that brand new market price at 300 to 320. So we'll have to see what happens. The 151 UPC, once again, it's just top tier product for 151. Of course, 151 being such a great stat. Nostalgia hits every single time you rip a pack. Every single time you think about the set, it just nostalgia hits all the time. So the box did seem to stagnate last week, and I did point out that there was a weird sale of like, I don't know, $50 that held this box down for a little bit, and it seemed like it did continue to drop a little more after that, but now it's back on the rise. Now it's above its all-time high. It's at $616. If you look back at the year, it's well above any other high that it had before that. This box is doing well. I don't see this box slowing down too much. At some point, market is going to take a step back once again, as always, when it hits a new high. But this is a great box. It's a great box, great products inside it. 3 great promos, packs, the playmat. It's an amazing box, right? It's something you definitely one of those things you wish you bought at Costco for $90 sometime last year or the year before that. 580 here on bids, 610, 555. Somewhat still pretty close to what we have at market, 620, 560. There are some buys though. A lot of these products, when you find more expensive products, you'll find deals that are like $50 below, like you're seeing here. We just saw a few of them just now. 525. This is almost $100 below market. This one is $700 though. I don't know, that looks insane. But you know, we do find some deals, 620 right here. This one says 750. That's absurd. 615, 600. So we're sitting right about market, but people are finding deals. This one here is at $500 with $17 shipping. I mean, you can find deals. 600 right here, $500 on bids. Yeah, I guess patience is key on eBay. You can find deals. So clearly, as always, you know, be strategic, be smart. Take your time looking. Next, Obsidian Flames, $327 market. Lowest listed looks to be $300 plus $10 shipping, 310. Box. I mean, this box has a Charizard in it. You know, people I think are having confidence in a Charizard set because they might feel like they can liquidate long term, being that it is Charizard, one of the most popular Pokemon ever. They feel like it'll do well long term. Like people will want to buy it, but then again, I don't know. We have, you know, we do have the internet clearly. People can see what's inside the set, and that Charizard isn't exactly amazing. It's okay. You got the Ninetales in there. You got a few other cards. You got the Gloom, but I don't know if it's enough to merit this price at 327 right now. But like I said before, a lot of confidence in the market. There's a lot of trust behind the Charizard for this set, and so people are still buying. We look at eBay to cross-reference, and we see that we're still sitting around that market price. So I'm pretty sure I saw a few more buys just around market where sentiment is just shared across both platforms, and there are so many products here that I had to scroll down. $340 right here. Once again, it's actually above market right there. I think trust in this set, confidence in the set, long term, it's doing really well. Even the ETBs, if you guys are seeing here, I pointed it out a few weeks ago. The regular ETBs have been rising, and it has that beautiful Charmander promo. That is an insane, like it's a beautiful ETB promo. Like there are barely any ETB promos that compete with it. I mean, the Snorlax one is, I think, slightly more expensive when it comes to the raw. If that, I might be wrong, but if it is, it shouldn't be. The Charmander one is just the best one in my opinion. There is no better ETB promo than this Charmander one from Obsidian Flames. It's beautiful. So this box is also climbing. Like I said, confidence in the market, whether it's the booster box or the regular ETB. We already know that the Pokemon Center ETB is sitting at like $900 and something. So that's not even something that has to be talked about. But next, Paldea Evolved Booster Box. Once again, always talk about this one being top 3 or top 4 in competition with Twilight Masquerade. Sitting at $476. It's still on the rise, guys. The box is still climbing. It was the first box to hit 400. It seems like it may be the first box to hit 500. You know, Destined Rivals, no matter how much we believe in Destined Rivals, it being a Team Rocket set and people feeling nostalgia towards the old Team Rocket Returns, this box is still being valued more than that one because it's been out for a few years, right? And it's going out of rotation next year. But it's also a really nice box. It's got the Magikarp in there. It's got the Tyranitar. It's got the Raichu. It has all those IRs. It has the starters from this current era that's in the anime right now. And I think long term, this box may perform better than what it is doing right now because those starters are going to be in the box. They're going to be young people that are going to grow up to a point where they can afford these boxes long term, and they're going to feel nostalgia towards those Pokemon that they were watching on television. So I think Paldea Evolved may do well long term. I always try to make those connections between what's happening now and what may happen in 3 to 5 years, because you're going to be selling it off in 3 to 5 years. And you're going to hope that whoever's 15 years old, 17 years old, if they are watching the anime or playing the games, um, they come into the market and they want to buy some of these sets and they feel nostalgia towards these starters. So keeping that in mind when it comes to like making choices and what set we value over others, it's just the way I look at these things. The booster box on eBay though, finding deals, $400, $411 on bids. Um, exactly as I always say, just use all avenues. 436 with $15 shipping is still more affordable than what we're seeing on TCGPlayer. This box looks horrible and it sold for $425. $405 here on bids. Yeah, that's a like we're just seeing deals on top of deals aside from this one box right here. As we scroll down, 470. Now we're seeing two boxes. We've seen like 8 boxes. Sorry, 10 now with this one, and 3 of them are at market or above. The other 7 were below. I mean, of course, you keep scrolling, you might find some others. 475 again, but 430 right here. I mean, eBay is a place to buy Paldea Evolved, clearly this is where you want to buy Paldea Evolved. $40 or more below market. Once again, you buy on TCGPlayer, you affect that market price, you're making your entry point that much higher. Of course, eBay is the place to buy Paldea Evolved if you're interested in a Paldea Evolved boxed. Scarlet Violet base has been having some decent growth for the past few months. We're we're at $247.41 now. I used to say this was the best base set booster box out of all Pokemon, or at least one of the best. And now we have Mega Evolutions that it doesn't say base on it. It doesn't say Mega Evolution base, but being that it's the first box, we're all considering it base, and it topples over this box. It's so much better than this set right here. That one now takes the crown, but this is still a nice box. It's still a very good box. It's one of the best base sets ever. We cannot deny that. Scarlet and Violet base, we could have bought it last year around this time for like $90. And I passed up on that opportunity, and I kick myself all the time for passing up on that. Oh my gosh. I don't even like talking about it. $250 on eBay, $230, right around market. 2 here for $500, which makes it $250 for each. This box, when you cross-reference with eBay, sentiment's the same. I mean, it correlates between both websites at $250 almost everywhere you look. $225 here, but with a $32 shipping. $230 with $7 shipping, a little closer to $250. Like it's a little bit of a sale, $10, but it's right there. $260, $170 right here. I don't even know what that is. That looks like a weird image. I don't know. I don't even know if I would trust that. $250 again, $207 with $12 shipping. But of course, there is no feedback on this seller. Maybe that's why he sold it for that low. Maybe he had a hard time selling it. But another one here actually sold for $200. I mean, I guess if you could find some of these steals, it would be amazing. But for the most part, we're seeing $250 across the board for the Scarlet and Violet base booster boxes on eBay. Next, Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith, slowly but surely, has been on the rise. And in this last week, it's been stagnating a little bit. It hit an all-time high of $228, and it's stagnating a little bit. It dropped down to $226. Not much of a difference there. Crown Zenith is an amazing set, but the market is not going so crazy over the ETB for some reason. Of course, we can't speak for the rest of the market. We're all individuals within the market, and some of us love this set. I mean, most of us love this set, but I mean, they just aren't buying like it's not even keeping up with Paldean Fates, and it's much older. It also depends on the people listing. The the sellers aren't listing it for too much higher than what it is at right now. And for that reason, it's not climbing too much. But it looks like at some point it will be at least $250 with the next like 15 sales. But it's slowly climbing. If you go to the end of the next page, you're only at $260. It's not really climbing so like immensely like a lot of these other products within Pokemon. Now on eBay, you're kind of seeing the same thing. $200, 200 here plus $21 delivery. Basically 200 and almost $30 here plus $5 delivery here, right at market, right? $202 with $13 delivery, 225, 200 here. Oh, it says see description. There's something fishy going on here, and somebody bought it for 200. 185 plus delivery. This is the only one that's a steal, actually. I would assume this person must have been one of those people that bought the ETB for $40, which good for him anyways. He still did really well on that. 385 for the PC ETB, 190 on bids. Yeah, well, this box is just not going crazy with prices. 170, and we all thought that it would, right? We can be wrong. At any moment, we can be wrong thinking that a great set like Crown Zenith is going to do well, and then it doesn't. And we really can't say why, right? We can't say why this seller listed it for that price. Of course, it's getting bought left and right. People are buying it, but the listings aren't as expensive as a lot of these other sets, and we can't explain why. We can't talk. We can't know why these sellers listed it at this price. So we just have to run with the punches. And if you want to hold Crown Zenith, just hold it. Hold it for the long term. That's been the goal the whole time, right? If you're investing, you're holding this for the long term. So Silver Tempest, one of the other boxes that once again did get bought out, and for that reason alone, you see that in the last week there hasn't been really any sales aside from one today at $486. But the reason why there was a sale at $486 and why people aren't buying is because even though market says 486, they bought every single box aside from boxes that were at $550 for a while. You see this one here says 0% and it says 2 sales, so there's no feedback on this one, and it's listed at 450. Of course, it's this person that's going to list it that low after seeing the buyout. But ever since the buyout, the lowest listed box was $550, and now after this one here that's 450, the lowest listed after that is $470. And so that's what they did, even though they didn't really affect the market price so much that it jumped to 550. The lowest listed is now 570. So now it's basically a $570 box if you buy on TCGPlayer. So once again, spending this much money on a box like Silver Tempest is no easy feat unless you're wealthy, right? Unless you're a whale. And once again, just confidence in the market, more confidence throughout the whole hobby, which is insane, right? $425 here on eBay with $20, $23 shipping. If like once again, the first place I'd run to if I saw a buyout would be eBay. I wouldn't go ahead with the TCG price, the TCGPlayer pricing, because it just doesn't make sense. And you see this $425 sale with the Lost Origin box and Silver Tempest. It's only because they're in Spanish, right? So that's that. Of course, they're going to sell for that much in Spanish. $575 with $42 shipping from the UK. Insane. $510 with $25 shipping from the US. So you're really seeing sales correlating between eBay and TCGPlayer as of these last few days. On the first day, of course, it wasn't doing that. Of course, because they can only affect one site. They can't really affect the others. And they can't affect how people list them. But now eBay has caught up, and you're seeing sales here at $550, right? You saw that one sale that was well below market, but it was the only one. It was literally the only one. And so eBay has kind of caught up with TCGPlayer when it comes to Silver Tempest. But once again, confidence in the market. Even though the price on eBay has caught up, people are still buying. Still buying. Lost Origin, another box no one's talking about, that got bought up as well. Every single box below $900 got bought. Every single box, once again, below $900 got bought, making it a $900 box when it comes to the lowest listed. These are clearly not boxes that you're going to want to buy. One of them just said French, but you look here, lowest listed at $875. This was not here. The lowest listed was actually this one at $86, $87 with $2 shipping. It's close enough to $900, but everything below that price point was bought, making it a basically $900 box. And for that reason, you're not seeing many buys as of late. All the listings are about $100 above market price at the moment. We'll have to see when this box will actually move up to $900, when people actually start buying and accept that market price. So cross-referencing with eBay, you're seeing boxes that are actually, it's not correlating whatsoever. You're seeing boxes at $675 plus $23 shipping. You'll see another one. Where's the other one? $820. It's not $900 like on TCGPlayer. When it comes to lowest listed, it's $820 on bids plus $18 shipping. You have one here at $750. You have $766 best accepted offer. You have a crazy one here at $904. But what we're seeing for the most part is that the prices don't correlate. Here you have another one at $675, right? So 660 right here. You have a whole nother a row of 6 right here. This is a whole case sold individually for basically $650 if you round it off, maybe 660. Is not correlating whatsoever with lost origin. So as always, you see a buyout, head over to eBay, head over to Facebook or somewhere else, and just make a better play. So we'll have to see when market actually accepts that price of $900, because we're not even seeing people buying at $900, whether it be on TCGPlayer or eBay. So moving forward, Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance did have a little bit of a jump up here, but it's still moving really slow. It's back up to $391, $394 market price. There isn't so much being sold on Astral Radiance. It is one of the lower tier boxes within like the mid tier sets. There's not much to say about Astral Radiance, right? The Starmie in there is amazing. The Machamp is amazing. But if you look at the values of both those cards, they're not that crazy. They're nothing like any of the top chase cards within the other boxes in the Sword and Shield era. Even Battle Styles is worth like $288 market, I believe, right now. And that Sleeping Tyranitar is worth more than the Machamp V. So keep that in mind when it comes to plays you make on some of these boxes. Even though the trainer gallery is not bad as well. I mean, the set's not bad. It's just there's not so much to say about it when it comes to other boxes in comparison to it. Like, for example, right here, Brilliant Stars. Best trainer gallery of all Sword and Shield, in my opinion. Great box. Sitting at $547 market. Great box. It's been talked up a lot as well. The hype behind it has been real. Confidence, once again, behind this box has been amazing. The box keeps rising, right? The box keeps rising. Within the last few days, it hasn't done much, but we'll have to see. Once again, it hit an all-time high. We'll have to see market accept this price and move forward with it. But I feel like they will. This is just a great box. You can feel it with Fusion Strike. You can feel it with Lost Origin. Even though Lost Origin recently got bought out, you would have to assume that at some point it's going to move up towards the price point of what Fusion Strike is at. We know that it's one of the top 3 sets in Sword and Shield. So, and we know that it's going to do well long term. Next, eBay, cross-referencing Brilliant Stars with eBay. We'll see here $590 on bids, 505. Nice deal right there, $505 on eBay, $520 right here below market again, $500 flat with $50 delivery. What else do we have here? 505. We're seeing a lot of under market buys on eBay. As always, the best thing to do is come to eBay and see what you can find that's affordable. 535 on bids. I wonder how minty that box is. I'm not going to go into it right now, but it does have that plastic casing around it. Maybe that's why they went up to $535 for that box. 525. Yeah, as always, eBay being the place that if you are going to find the deal, that's where you go. Usually it's eBay. TCGPlayer is usually the most expensive. And here we are showing exactly that. Next, Fusion Strike at $1,000. If, of course, it breached $1,000 a little while ago. And it continues to sell. Of course, sales are going to slow down. It is a $1,000 box. There aren't that many people that have the money to buy a $1,000 box. And we're just being honest. Most of us don't have that kind of money to just throw away, and not throw away, but put $1,000 into something and not have access to it. So with that in mind, you can still see that people are buying boxes at over $1,000. And of course, it's smart for somebody to put a photo on here to show maybe how minty it is so they can help make a sale. But we're seeing buys of $1,000, and it's been like this for a little while now. Um, it's moving slowly, as you'll see with Evolving Skies, because it's over $2,000, $2,500. There's just aren't that many people that have the capital to buy this box, but that's fine. These boxes will still sell. So moving on to eBay cross reference, I did see sales. Here was one at $1,050 today. Of course, once again, confidence throughout the whole market. People willing to spend $1,000 on a Pokemon box. Uh, at the end of the day, even though I'm a believer in Pokemon myself, and I've invested into Pokemon myself, we always have to humble ourselves and just realize it is a trading card game. And just that really, when that sits in your mind, it really tells you how confident people really are, willing to spend $1,100 on a Fusion Strike booster box. Same as Evolving Skies, same as things like Team Up for $10,000. I mean, that's how much confidence there is in the market right now. And as we continue, you'll see more $1,000 sales on bids, $1,020. The case for $7,100. If every box sells for about $1,100, that's a $500 premium on that sealed case. Some of them are selling for $1,100. Some of them are selling for $1,050, making that premium even greater. But once again, across the board, $1,100. Fusion Strike. So much confidence in the market. This seems to be somewhat of a steal from what we're seeing. $980, $985 on bids. I mean, it's a great set. It's a beautiful looking box. I love that pink color. It like really stands out when you display it. It like you don't confuse it. You see a whole wall of booster boxes, whether it be, for example, I mentioned Pokeplumber the last time. You can tell which is Fusion Strike. You can easily point it out. It looks beautiful. Next, Celebrations ETB. After that point where I mentioned that it was giving us a entry point when it retraced, now it's back up to $252, and once again, stagnating around that $252 mark. Buys are slowing down. Maybe market's deciding it doesn't want to pay over $250 for this box. But I would have to assume the closer and closer we get to the 30th anniversary, uh, people will want to buy this box just a bit more. So we'll have to see where that goes. Every day that passes by, we're getting closer and closer to the 30th. Now, one thing that was brought up to me during my live last night was the Celebrations UPC. The Celebrations UPC is, it looks like it's just a few sales away from $1,000. The UPC is climbing up towards $1,000. You almost get to it on the first page here. You're at $960 here. I would assume, I think it was like 15 sales I needed to get to $1,000. It's a really cool product as well. It's got the metal promo cards in it, with the Charizard, the Pikachu, and then that Pokeball one. But let me know in the comments, guys. I thought I heard someone say that PSA is no longer grading metal cards. If PSA is not grading metal cards, maybe you reconsider on this product right here. It may be reaching $1,000, but if PSA really is not grading gold cards, then I think that takes away from the potential value of what's in this box, right? Because you can't grade that metal Charizard, you can't grade that metal Pikachu, which I wanted to grade myself. But I think I heard someone say they're not grading metal cards. So if that is the case, take that into account and maybe look elsewhere. Next, Evolving Skies. Once again, I was talking about confidence in the market, right? Evolving Skies is $2,600. Where are we? It's not even here. Lowest list is not even on this page. I thought it was. Here we go. Lowest listed at $2,600. Basically the same thing right here. And of course, market is sitting at 2,600. If we look at the most recently sold, we'll see a sale at $2,600, 2,400 before that, 2,600, $2,750. Once again, confidence in the market. Somebody spending 2.5K on a booster box is just confidence in the market right now, right? Moving forward with probably the best box ever created for the Pokemon TCG. Evolving Skies being that set that everybody wishes they had, right? And we look on eBay, you have a sale here of $2,800, which is, from what I've seen, the most expensive buy at the current moment. Looking real good for Evolving Skies. It just keeps climbing, and confidence for this box has not shied away. In reality, it hasn't. $2,650 on bids from Australia with a $40 delivery. That's $2,700. Yeah, $2,425 with $18 delivery from Probstein. This box will keep selling. It may take a little longer because once again, the pool of people that can afford to buy this box is just getting smaller and smaller as it grows, right? But it's still an amazing box. Chilling Rain, another box that displays so well. Sitting at $578 market, most recently sold at $560. The box has somewhat stagnated for the past few weeks. Once again, reaching an all-time high, and market has to accept it, right? That was the same tale last week, but we do have some sales that came across a few weeks ago that were sitting at that price point of 570. We'll have to see how long market takes to accept that value of Chilling Rain as Fusion Strike and Lost Origin take steps up. These boxes follow. These boxes are not going to move without those boxes first moving. That's just the way that it seems to be happening. Looking at Chilling Rain, cross-referencing with eBay once again. Looking at the prices here, $525 with a $40 delivery fee from Australia. Once again, another beautiful box that you can point out from a mile away what it is. You can tell it's Chilling Rain just by looking at it. It looks so good when it's displayed the way it is. $425 from a box that looks like it was once again used by like a soccer ball. $600 here from TCA Gaming. Confidence in the market, guys. Confidence in the market. 525 on bids with a very, very beautiful looking like minty box. 439. This person listed it at 439, but if you look at this person right here, it looks like this person has been offloading a lot of his product, and he's undercutting a lot of these prices, making his sales just go quickly. Like once he lists them, they're probably selling instantly. And you know, if he's somebody who bought these boxes at 80 bucks, like a lot of others did years ago, then he's still doing really well. Maybe some people think that he was wrong for selling it like this, or maybe they think that he's an idiot for selling it like this. But in reality, this guy's probably doing so well, he doesn't have to try to compete with others trying to sell it at $600. So good for this guy right here. He's been selling a lot. He's been offloading, realizing gains. He's got to be feeling really good. $670 for the next box right here with $45 shipping. Even if they bought it with this acrylic box, it's still well over market. So nice box, nice looking box though, but it's what we're seeing across the market. You see guys like these at 450 with bids, 455, 510, 461, 560. These guys must have all bought these boxes a few years back when they were just $80 a piece. So moving forward though, battle styles. Battle styles, we're here. It's finally stagnating. When it hit $288 about a week ago, it's not really doing so much at the moment, but it's now reached a decent price point at 288 with one of the boxes that people didn't talk up at all. They more than anything disliked the box for some reason, no matter how good that Sleeping Tyranitar was. And it was below the value of whatever Vivid Voltage was at the time, which was like $200. This box was like at like 180 for so long. And it finally changed. We're at 288, and it's been stagnating for the past few weeks, and it's fine. I think this box is right where it should be, to be honest. It's a pretty cool box. I think it's right where it should be. Once again, Sleeping Tyranitar has still been flying. We'll have to see where all of it ends up. Vivid Voltage, not doing much as well. Hitting an all-time high of about $255. It's been doing the same thing for the past few weeks. And once again, I think that it's right where it should be, right? There's no alternate art within this box. And aside from that, it's just a Pikachu in the box. The big fat rainbow Pikachu, it doesn't look amazing whatsoever. But it is Pikachu, so it might have some decent value long term. But outside of that, that's all that box is really worth. And I think it's probably reached its peak for the time being. All right, guys. So that'll be it for the video. As always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that hype button if it's there. I'm grateful for all of you guys. Thank you for all the comments. And once again, don't forget to subscribe. I think it was like 90% of people that watch my videos aren't subscribed. And a lot of them are returning viewers, and they're still not subscribed. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We do this weekly analysis every week, aside from other videos that we do all the time throughout the week, and we go live as well. So I hope to see you guys at the next live, just like yesterday. It was fun. But with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys at the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace.